Toastmaster. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Come back with me to 1994, in the spring. 15 high school seniors, girls and boys, standing alongside an urban park underneath one of those ubiquitous urban street lamps with that yellow-orange, sickly, industrial glow. We're talking about the things that are really important to teenagers, of course. Girls, rivalries, what we're going to do for the summer, where are we headed for college? When one of the young men next to me makes about the worst threat assessment I've ever heard in my life by saying, "What is this nonsense?" And he looks out in the street, and like some sort of B-rated movie, we see silhouettes of about 15 people walking side by side up the street. After a quick chuckle, we realize they're carrying weapons, bats, sticks, chains, swaying in the light. Sensei Inabu says that in order to win a battle, you must destroy the enemy's fighting spirit. When you destroy the enemy's fighting spirit, the battle has won. That's pretty elegant. It's noble. Very Japanese. I'd like to say in this moment, maybe something better would be like, how about you don't die at 17 across the street from your high school, right? Inside all of our heads is a menu. And when you're young, as a teenager, that menu is very short and kind of dumb. There's also an emergency menu, and it says things like, find safety, call the police, move in the other direction. My companion for the evening, DJ Dave and I, we chose the fourth selection, which was run back towards the car that is closest to the enemy and try to get in it before they kick the crap out of you. Because that's what everybody did. All the bravado in the area disappeared as soon as somebody said, "Oh my gosh, let's get out of here." Scram. So there we are, making the fourth choice, running back to the car. I get my hand on the handle before the attacker's standing right in front of me. The look in his eyes is something I will never forget. The feeling. It was the same look in my eyes. What do you think it was? Fear. Yes. The only difference was his face was empty and violent. And I heard the metal sound of a baton opening up in front of me. And I thought, what would Bruce Lee do in this moment? And Bruce Lee says, the art of fighting is to know when to move at the right moment. My brain was empty at this point, so all I'm doing is focusing on the muscle memory of the 3 months of kickboxing that I had had. As the baton comes swinging at the top of my head, all I could do was duck under the clothesline like I had done like 100 times. And I come up to punch this guy in the face, and I freeze. On either side of him are two henchmen, one with a bottle aimed at my head. So what do you do in this moment? When the enemy's right in front of you, and the bottle's aimed at your head, you turn around and look away. My teammate, DJ Dave, seemed to have resigned from the team. DJ Dave had DJ disappeared. He was no longer there. I turned back around, of course, waiting for this, just at the last second, as I see the baton coming swinging back towards my chest, and I arc my chest away almost far enough. I still have a scar where that scarred me right here on the lower part of my chest. It's a tiny one. Don't worry about it. Rory Miller says, it's better to avoid than to run. It's better to run than to de-escalate. It's better to de-escalate than to fight. It's better to fight than to die. In these moments, it's a very thin line for you to escape when you're already screwed. So what do? I spin on my feet, I light the jets, and I start moving. And it's like that cartoon where your wheels are spinning and your legs aren't going anywhere, and you're hoping that your feet will actually start to go. a cog inside my body went off that day in a way that I've never had go off before. Some people would call this like an adrenaline dump, right? I would call it, not today, devil, not today. We are not dying today. And as I turn and I start running as fast as I can with the tips of my feet pounding in the pavement, I hear a bottle whiz past the side of my head, another one break just behind my feet, and I'm running 50 yards. That shadow and that light, shadow, light, shadow, light. And the rich kid's coming back from me. He comes back in his daddy's BMW, and he turns sideways in the street. Back window is down. I'm 30 yards out, and they're looking at me like panicked, like, don't you turn around, you idiot. And I just dive in the back window at the last second, and we take off. My car was the only one that didn't make it out that night. Everybody else got away. All the windows were broken in the car. DJ Dave drew the attackers away, and he had a rib broken. He had his face swollen. He ran away so fast that he lost his sneakers. He climbed over through backyards to get away and finally got to the hospital. That was pretty scary. As you can imagine, as you heard in that story, if I hadn't moved at certain times, and had maybe not been there that night, none of this would have happened, but had I not moved at certain times, my parents wouldn't be here to watch me do this speech, and I certainly wouldn't have 3 children at home. I tell the story like this because I think as parents, it's really important that we tell lessons through story. I think it's really dangerous for us to pretend we're in some sort of ivory tower that we're not. We need to come down from whatever ivory tower that we are not in to meet our children where they are and to share our experiences so that they don't end up in a bad spot. And when they do, they come home and they say, Dad, I've got a problem. I think I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Have you ever had any experiences like this? Madam Toastmaster.